WholeCEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in weight loss, mindset, and business. Learn our top tips to set you up for success so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, and feel unstoppable. Hey guys, we're so excited. We're here with Sam Bakhtiar. Hey Sam.
How are you? Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having me on the show.
I am so happy to have you. I am so impressed that you have gone from a refugee to somebody who has $100 million business. And I want you to inspire others with your story. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your story? I know you're a refugee from Iran.
Yes. So Lisa, I was born in Tehran, Iran. And not soon after I was born, at 3 years old, my mom and my dad got divorced. My dad went to Canada. I never saw my dad after that again. And soon after that, my country went to war with Saddam Hussein in Iraq. And, that region always had issues, So, I remember growing up and every night there was bombing, every night there was planes flying over and dropping bombs. See, in the United States, when we go to war, we don't feel it. We don't hear it. We just hear we're at war, because we have such a great defense and we have such a great country that protects us. When we're at war over there, you hear machine guns, you hear the tanks, you actually are feeling the war. There was bombs dropping on you. So we felt that every night, and we didn't know if, which night was going to be our night that a bomb was going to drop on us. So that's when, when my mom decided that we want to get out of the country. So we left Iran when I was 11 years old with my single mom, $500 and one luggage. When we came to America.
Oh my gosh. I am so inspired by your story. And you didn't even speak English then when you got here?
I didn't speak English. I didn't speak a word of English. My clothes were totally different than what everybody wore here. My haircut was different, and Lisa, I thought I was coming to Beverly Hills because when I was doing research on America, we didn't have the internet and all that kind of stuff. Back then, we just saw American shows, and, back then they had shows called like Dallas Dynasty and the A-Team. And that was like, for like young people don't know nothing about that, but it's like the Kardashians of today. So I thought everybody had Cadillacs and mansions, Bentleys, swimming pools. And man, Lisa, I came to a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania, which is the ghetto. The ghetto. My uncle had a convenience store literally in the worst street.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen a street that has a sign that says no loitering or you're going to get arrested.
And you were then a skinny kid that didn't speak English, and I want to understand a little bit more about from where you got here to where you are today.
So for those people who are listening to this or watching this, I want you to listen to this story because look at all the devastations, The first devastation was getting bombed on, my dad leaving us, right? That was the first devastation. Second devastation was coming to America and thinking I was going to Beverly Hills. I'm in the middle of the hood. And now the third one, I go to school, and I want to learn, the language, and I want to play football. Now, as the world knows football, not American football, real football.
Soccer.
Exactly. And in 1985 in Sharon, Pennsylvania, nobody knew anything about soccer. So they said, no, we have football, baseball, and basketball. Ever since I remember as a little kid, I was infatuated with playing the real football. And now I come to a country, I don't speak language, I'm getting picked on, I'm getting bullied, I'm being name called, and now they don't have my favorite sport. I'm devastated. So I didn't know anything about baseball, I don't know anything about football. I'm like, okay, let me try to play basketball. At least I know how to put the ball in the hoop. So I tried out for the basketball team. And out of 22 people that tried out, I was the only one that didn't make the team. Everybody made the team. I was singled out. I didn't make the team. I sucked anyway, but ironically, I was the only one. So
that's terrible.
Oh, I was crying, man. I was crying. I went home, told my mom, I don't like this country. Nobody likes me. I don't have any friends. I want to go back to my old country. My mom said, that's not, that's not a choice. That's not a choice. I said, what you want? She said, go practice and get better. And when you practice to get better, you can try out next year. So I was going to practice to get better in this boys club. After a month or so, I seen these guys coming out the weight room, and they all looked like Arnold, and they all looked like Sylvester Stallone. I was like, my God, I want my arms to look like that. I want to be like that. I want to be strong. So I started working out, and I didn't know anything about working out, and I started feeling good about myself. I started seeing a little bit of baby muscles, but I fell in love with not only what it did for me on the outside, but really what it did for me on the inside, my self-esteem, the way I carried myself, the way I thought about myself. And weight training and working out is like a very, similar to life, very similar, because no matter where you are in life, there's different obstacles and there's bigger problems to solve. And no matter where you are in your journey of weightlifting, there's always more weights for you to push. And there's always limits for you to push. So I became, weight training taught me to become, comfortable when I'm uncomfortable.
I love that.
And that's what's carried me throughout life, carried through my life. So fast forward, I fell in love with weightlifting. Again, that devastation of getting cut from the basketball team, I would have never got into weightlifting. If I would have never got into weightlifting, I would have never became a gym owner and supplement owner. I would never have all of this.
I love it.
So it was God's plan. It was all God's plan. So, and when I graduated college, I went to college because my mom said either become doctor, lawyer, engineer, So I became a doctor for my mom, not because I wanted to practice. I gave my diploma to my mom. I started my first business in February 15th of 2000. I started working my butt off 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I was making good money, which I thought back then was good money. I was making like 10 or 20 grand a month, which I'm from Sharon. If you make $2,000 a month, you are balling. So to me,
rolling in it.
Yeah, to me, I was like, I was the King Kong, for making 10, 20 grand a month, just getting out of school. And I was doing good until the recession hit. And the recession just crushed me. Crushed me. My business just went like this. And one-on-one personal training went down the hill.
Was that 08?
08. It started at 08.
I remember that well. It was a horrible time for me too, being in the same industry. Everyone cut out all the unnecessary
everything, bro.
And
everything.
Not that fitness, in my opinion, your opinion, is unnecessary, but I feel it's the fear. But I love the way that you talk about, had you not got cut, not made the team, you wouldn't have gone into weightlifting. So I love the message about finding the blessing in the mess, and adversity can be a good thing, can't it?
Listen, Lisa, if you follow everything that I say throughout this thing, you're going to see that my biggest setbacks have become my biggest comebacks. I wholeheartedly believe with all my heart that when you have a setback, that's God's way of seeing if you are resilient enough for him to bless you. And if you quit and you give up, then God knows you're not worthy of his blessing. So if you don't pass the test that God's putting in front of you, then you're not going to get the blessing, and you're just going to stay where you are. And I wholeheartedly believe in that, man, because every time I thought it was over for me, something better, God had a better plan. God was pushing me somewhere that I didn't want to go, and it made me so much better. So let me, so 2008, business went down, I got married in 2007. In 2009, my wife was pregnant and we had our first baby. But once she was pregnant, I had a meeting with her at a restaurant, and I told her, we don't have any money in the bank. We lost everything. I'm getting foreclosure notices on my house. I'm getting creditors calling me. I didn't know what to do. I just told her to stay home, to be with the baby. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go work 20 hours that day and trying to figure this out. And that's what I did. When life gives you a challenge, there's really two things you can do. Either sit back and feel sorry for yourself, or fight back. That's the only two alternatives you have. When life, sits you back, what are you going to do? Or going to sit back home and get depressed and not do anything? That's not going to resolve the problem. All you have to do is just keep going. And in life, that's all you have to do. And I don't
never give up, be resilient. And I got that message so much too from Kobe, with his Mamba mentality of being resilient, and that there's a bigger meaning for your dreams if you don't hit them, if you just stay the course and work hard.
Michael Jordan got cut from the basketball team.
I love
You know what
that.
I mean? Like if you study success and study history, you know that all you got to do is keep going. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. As long as you're resilient enough, sooner or later, you're gonna hit one ball out of the park. That's all you got to do. In baseball, you get 3 swings and you're out. In life, you get unlimited swings, so keep swinging.
Well, I love this message for myself personally. Like, I've had my struggles, ups and downs as an entrepreneur, thinking it's going to be easy. It hasn't been easy, but I'm not giving up. And I know that you mentioned depression before. Is that something that you've had to overcome as well?
Absolutely, man. So when my whole why is for me to be able to be a father that I never had. So I wanted to become, I want to provide. I wanted to provide. I wanted to do that. And so when in 2009, we had our first baby and I was dead broke and I was getting foreclosure notices on my house, I was literally depressed. I didn't know what to do because now I'm like, I'm going to be just like my dad. I'm not going to be able to be a good provider. My kids are not going to have anything. So all these things are going through my mind, and so I went to work, all I did was go to work. I was depressed and I was depressed. And here's the thing. The way you deal with depression is to keep yourself busy, keep working. Because if you sit home and think about why you eat all this kind of stuff, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So just like when we competed back in the day, when we competed as a bodybuilder, you competed, in NPC and all that kind of stuff. Guess what? When you were dieting, when you were getting ready for a show, the worst thing you could have done is sit home and watch TV and watch all those food commercials.
Right.
So what you did
You
is
got to
you
stay
kept yourself
busy.
busy. You just get busy and you didn't think about food no more. Same thing goes with depression. When you sit home and you have too much time on your hand, when you have what I call too much white spaces. See, this is my calendar. See, this is my calendar. From 3 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, there is no white spaces.
I
There is no
love
white
that.
spaces. I am
I
busy.
love your drive.
I'm busy every single minute of every single day. I don't got time to dwell upon on getting depressed. So when I get depressed, here's what I do. I order me a large Hawaiian pizza, right? I eat all of it. I go to bed early, and next day I got to go back to work. I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I take a half a day to feel sorry for myself, and then I put an action game plan together. No white spaces, because I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to lay down. I'm just going to keep going. And that's how I battled depression. That's how and done that. And I got depressed before many times. After I finally, in 2014, I started to make more money again. I started feeling good. Like one day, I come to work and I got served divorce papers. And just when I thought, I finally was getting myself out of a hole because I was working so hard. I wasn't paying my ex-wife any attention. She was talking to me, and I wasn't even in the room, because I was just trying to make sure I make enough money to survive. And next thing you know, that happened. But then again, I was devastated. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. I moved out. I lived in a hotel for 4 months, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So at that time, I was literally crying in this cheap hotel for 4 months every night. Sam, I was 40 years old. I just got done being broke. I just started making a little bit of money. Now I lost my family, my whole damn why everything went out the window. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go out there and chase women and start drinking and do what I did when I was in my 20s? I'm like, no. I'm like, Sam, what are you all about? I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend as much time with my kids as possible. Well, I only see them now on Wednesdays and on the weekends because of divorce, right? So I said, when I'm not with them, I'm going to provide for them, and I'm going to keep myself healthy so I can do 1 and 2, right? So I hit back, anytime I wasn't with the kids, I was either in the gym or trying to make money. And at that time in 2014, we had like 5 or 6 locations at the camp. Because I worked so hard, because I dedicated all my stuff to what I needed to do, now we have 120 locations.
Oh my gosh.
So if I didn't get divorced, we wouldn't have a franchise that we do now. And I would have met my love of my life right now, and I wouldn't have my baby boy that I have now right now.
Oh.
So every devastation. And right now, every time there's a challenge in my life, I ask myself, you know what? Bring it on. Bring it on, because I wonder what's the learning lesson. I wonder what's the blessing is on the other side, because I know there's a bigger blessing on the side. Have you ever watched Have you ever watched like MMA or boxing when
Yes.
when the guy gets straight clocked in his face and the guy looks at the guy that clocked him, smiles at him, nods his head and say, "That's a good one. That's a good punch." That's who I am right now because I've got punched so many times. Because I got hit so many times, I expect it. It's a part of life. It's a part of wanting to strive. It's a part of human nature. It's a part of God's gift to you.
Oh, there's so many golden nuggets in this conversation. I can't even believe it. I mean, I love, first of all, how you owned your responsibility for the failure of their first marriage. And you're like, well, I wasn't present because I was working all the time. So you weren't, obviously, you're so emotionally involved from being a victim of that.
Well, I've been a bad husband. I've been a bad dad. I've been a bad businessman. I've been a bad boss. I've been bankrupt. I've been divorced. I've been evicted. There is nothing to hide here. But the thing is, who I am now is because of all that. So I embrace everything. I don't have a perfect record. I don't even have close to perfect record. I effed up so many things in my life. And because of that, I am who I am right now. I own it. I'm 100% responsible. I'm not the one to put it on anybody else. I own my life. The reason I'm here today is because all the decisions that I made in the past.
I love that. And I love your message about how the adversity is a stepping stone onto something better. That is something that just really hits home for me. And just to never give up. Do you have any final words you want to leave our audience about never giving up on your goals, no matter what, no matter how many times you get punched in the face?
If you follow anybody who has done anything with their life, do you think that Elon Musk didn't get punched in the face? Do you think Donald Trump didn't get punched in the face and still gets punched in the face? Do you think Thomas Edison didn't get the Carnegies or Rockefellers? Whoever, they fell down. The only difference between somebody who is average and mediocre and somebody who just made it is because they was like, you know what, I'm gonna accept it, I'm gonna keep going. That's the only difference. I know it's so generic and cliche. I know everybody says never give up, never give up, never give up, but I really mean don't give up. I really mean keep going. I really mean that there is, look at adversity as God's gifts.
I absolutely love that, Sam. And where can people find you?
The best way to find me is Google me, Sam, Bakhtiar, or you can text me directly. My number is 909-200-4015.
And you have 2 websites, right?
Yeah, so I have sambakhtiar.com and I have 1%life.com.
Well, I just love your message about resilience, and thank you so much for being here, Sam.
Thank you, Lisa. It's my pleasure.
This episode is brought to you by Good Pod. Protein shakes are messy, expensive, and hard to make. Good Pod is a new amazing shake maker that's a blender and a pod in one. Pick a pod, fill your glass with water or milk in 60 seconds or less. You have a healthy protein shake and it's ready to drink. Just like that.